We've created our front half and our back half of our grips, and before we mirror them to the other side, we're going to have to secure them in place. Now, the best way to do that is with a bolt going all the way through. Now, I guess you could glue this to either side. The chance of you being able to glue on both sides and have them perfectly aligned will be pretty hard, but what we're going to be doing is going to be creating a bolt hole through the top and the bottom, go all the way through. It will bolt the front half of the grip through the faceplate to the back half of the grip. So we're going to create our sketch on the front surface. And the first thing we're going to do is create some sort of construction lines just so we can place those bolt holes in the right spot. So we'll go construction, and then we'll use our offset tool. And offset, usually by default, will have chain selection ticked. So if I click this edge, it will select all of these edges all through here. So there's probably about 8 in total there, and it will want to offset all of those lines there. So when I go to offset, I'm going to deselect chain selection and just click on this edge here. The distance between this curve, this inside curve and the outside curve is 10 mil. So we're going to go -5 on that one. So now we've got a construction line which runs right down the middle of our grip. And it's probably worthwhile. We'll project in, so P, we'll project in that line and this line down here as well, not that one. So we'll project in those two surfaces, still while we've got that selected as construction, and we'll create, again, another offset here, and we'll come in 7 mil, and we'll do the same at the bottom, offset, and this will give us just a nice reference point for both of our holes. So I'll go to circle, and now I can deselect construction. It will automatically sort of give us an X where the center point is, and we'll put 3 on there, and we'll do the same again down the bottom. Now we're going to use a slightly different feature this time around to create these holes. And it's not one I use super regularly, but it does come in handy every now and then. And that is called the hole tool. And normally in this scenario, I would 90% of the time I would use just the cut extrude. But because in this case, I want to create a slightly an additional feature. And that is, I'll select both of these holes. So automatically those 2 sketch points are now my reference points for my 2 holes which I'm going to create. And then I've got a whole bunch of options here. So you can choose the hole type, whether it's simple, whether it's counterbore or countersunk. Now ours is going to be counterbore because we've got our socket head screw bolts which are going through. So we're going to use a counterbore, and the hole tap type has got a thread on it, so no, it's just a simple one. And then our drill point can just be flat. And then we can set all of our features in here. Now the width of the hole at the bottom, so the width here, as we said before, is an M3, so it's going to be a 3 millimeter hole this way. This top one will be 5.5 millimeters. So the width of the top of the hole is going to be 5.5, the width of the bottom of the hole will be 3 mil. Now the depth from the very top to the very bottom really doesn't matter as long as it comes out the other side. But the height of that counterbore is pretty important, so we'll set that to 3 millimeters. So we'll just double check that we've got both of them selected. One up there, one down there, and we'll hit OK. So we should see daylight coming through there. That should have put a 3 mil hole through everything. And just the very top of it will have a counterbore at 3 mil deep 5.5 wide. If you're never sure about any dimensions, you've got an inspect tool here which comes in handy. So you hit inspect, click on the circle, and it'll tell you over here radius or the diameter. It's 5.5, and if I click on that bottom line there, it should tell me length, which is 3 millimeters here. So the distance of 3 mil. So you can inspect. That inspect tool comes in handy quite regularly in terms of just identifying distances. So, all right. Now, before we finish this up, we'll also need on the back side we'll need to put in a feature for the nut, and this will retain the nut, which will means that we can screw in the M3 all the way through. So I'm going to create a sketch on the back side of the grip, and I shouldn't need to project these in because I can already select them. So polygon, circumscribe polygon. We don't need it to be construction. We will select the center point there, and we're going to be creating these. I guess the diameter would be 5.5. I'm just going to get it to do some maths for me. So half of 5.5, create one there, and we'll create one down the bottom as well. So create polygon, circumscribed. There we go. Again, with most of our polygons, we're just going to add a vertical constraint, a couple of those edges just to lock it in place. We'll finish our sketch. And now we can cut this profile. So extrude, select that top one, sorry, the bottom one and the top one, and we'll cut it -3. So the nut will slide into here, we'll be able to push it in, and then we'll be able to feed the bolt in from this side through the nut, and it will sort of clamp and sandwich everything together. All right.